Let's talk about my goals and how my first 3 months of the year have gone with my reading life. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to do a first quarter reading check-in. So I've taken a couple different reading check-in, like the quarterly reading tag, the mid-year freakout tag. I've kind of combined them, changed some of the questions, so I've created my own first quarter reading check-in. So if you want to do this after with like your goals and answer some of the questions, I will have all the questions in my description below, so go ahead and do it. I'm not calling it a tag, but if you want to, go right ahead. Okay, so just the first thing is to review each goal that you set for the year and discuss how they are going so far. So I have my reading journal here, and I have my reading goals page. Okay, so goal number 1 is to read every day. I paused because I'm like, I don't think I'm up to date on this, like on the tracking side of this. Let's see. So I am only, I'm not up to date, but that's okay. So I'm only going to talk about January, February, March. So it is April when I'm filming this, but I'm not going to talk about any of the reading that I've done in April. I'm not going to include any of those. Okay, so the first goal was to read every day. January, February, March. We are on track there. It's been good. Now, goal number 2 was to read 98 books. And goal number 3 was to listen to 24 audiobooks. Now, just within the last 2 weeks, probably, I was like, what was I thinking? Why did I do this to myself? And I had a whole conversation with my best friend where it was kind of like, wow, I was mean to myself. She's like, you can do it. Don't worry about it. And basically, the read 98 books, not a problem. I can read 98 books. Okay. And listen to 24 audiobooks. I remember when I said that, it was, as long as I listened to 2 a month, I'm fine. And I was only listening, like I was either reading a book or listening to a book. They never combined. Okay? So I created some trackers for that. And within the last couple weeks, it's driven me insane. So here's my first one, where this is where I would color in if I read. And then here's the other one where this is what I would color in if I had listened to the book. What I thought back in December when I did this is I can easily, I can look that I've got 6 books colored in. And I've got 24 books colored in. So the 24 out of the 98 and 6 out of the 24. However, when I'm writing down my list of books that I've read, I number them, like, first book, second book, third book, and then I continue. So I'm currently at 32 books read for the year. But this book 24 doesn't match. Like if I look through my list, book number 24 isn't, it could be an audiobook. It might not be. Because I have so I've read 6 audiobooks, or I've listened to 6 books. So they don't, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they're not books 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because I have books 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. And then it's also, I have to do math all the time, which is fine, right? So that's 24 plus 6 is 30 books. And then, as I said, I have read 2. So I created another tracker a couple weeks ago because then, I think it was in March, I started listening to a book and reading that same book at times. So whatever format worked for me at that particular moment is how I got through that book or took in that book, whatever, right? And then I'm like, but I didn't completely read it. I didn't completely listen to it. How do I track that? So then I decided to do this. So I created like a combo format tracker. And so I've got 1, 2 colored in. And I'm like, and that's when the numbers really started driving me crazy. Because I want to know, like, book number 10, where is that on here? Like, this would be easier. Which one is it? And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. So, after kind of much thought, I was like, oh, well, duh. I'll just do one tracker because I wanted to record my star ratings, the month I read on them, and the format I read them. And I was trying to figure out, how do I do this? So what I did is I took my book template, right? So I've got the spine is my color for the month. Then the main part of the book is my star rating. And then I've created these boxes underneath, which line up to this legend, right? Whether I read it, I listened to it, or it was a combo of the two of them. So that is what the colors underneath mean. I could go through, I don't really care to know, like on this visual, whether I read the book physically, or if I read it on my Kindle, or if it was not, right? Like I don't really care that much, because that is on my spreadsheet on my computer where I track all that information. Here I just want to be able to quickly look at it and be like, okay, so I have listened to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. And I have, because this records some of April's books, so I've got 1, 2, 3 that were a combo between listening to it and reading it. And then the rest are all, I just read them. So that was so much easier, because now book number 34 is book number 34 in my tracker. Or book number 25 is book number 25 in my tracker. Now I just have to figure out if I'm just going to glue this in over here. But then when I was talking to my best friend about this and like combining it and doing that, and I was like, wait a second. That meant 98 and 24. I set my goal at 122 books. And then I was like, what was I thinking? It was like all of a sudden the light bulb clicked and I'm like, oh, my goal is not 98 books. My goal is 122 books. So I had to change my Goodreads reading goal to kind of match my yearly goals that is on my chart here, right? I'm just like, yeah. It was one of those moments that, oh, she's like, I thought you knew that. Yeah, I thought I did too. Apparently not. So those are my long explanation of those two goals there. And how am I doing? Well, I have read 6 books, or I've listened to 6 books through audio. January, February, March. I had to do 2 a month. I'm on track there. And 98 books. I'm at 32 read, so minus those 6, right? So I'm fine. My Goodreads still says I'm 2 or 3 books ahead of my goal, so I'm good. Okay, then goal number 24. Goal number 24. No, I don't have that many goals. Goal number 4 is to read 24 books on my TBR bingo board. So again, 24 divided by 3, or divided by 12, I need to have 6 read for the 3 months. So this is my board, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And none of these are read in April. So as of the end of March, I am ahead of schedule and doing fairly well. And as you can see, I only need 1 book to complete this line. But that is a quote for Christmas, so I don't expect to complete that book anytime soon. And I mean, it's also, I could get this one though, but yeah. So we are doing fairly well on this one. it has really helped with my TBR game, making me read at least one a month. And then I'm focusing on them. I'm remembering to focus on them. Okay, then goal number 5 is to read 24 books on my rereads bingo board. So then we have the rereads bingo board. Again, I should have 6 read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Wow, I thought I was behind on this one. I thought I was 1 behind, but no, I'm actually 1 ahead. And I am currently working on reading this one. But yeah, it's slowly progressing. I think I'm on chapter 4. So I am on schedule at least, though. So that is going well. Now, goal number 6 was to limit my advanced reader copies to 12, only 1 per month. So that means January, February, March, that is 3. And so far, I've actually only read 2. I do have a 3rd one, and it's on my TBR for April. But, so I am on track with that. I am reading the books that I own or are on my TBR. Okay, goal number 7 is to complete my own reading challenge. So here is my printable for my reading challenge. As you can see, I've completed 1 each month. And I am working on April's. I already have at least 1. I have 2 possibilities I could put in there, and I'm working on a 3rd book right now. So kind of, I'm going to put my favorite of that fit this prompt of the month. Then number 8 is to complete Katie's reading challenge. So this is the one that gives the prompts, and then this is the one with each challenge. And I only have 2 pictures, but I have read a book that fits this prompt. I just don't have the picture for it. So I have it written in is If I Were You by Lynn Austin. I just, once I get a page full of pictures, then I'll print and add it in. But I am doing well for that as well. Then number 9 was to complete Oshina's reading challenge. Again, same thing. So I've got a printable. I have read a book for number 3. I just don't have the picture printed, but I do have the title written in, so I know what book I read for it. Again, I am on track for that. Okay, then goal number 10 is to complete 8 specific series, and I've got those series listed. And so this is my list of the 8 series. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have completed 1 of them. I have 2 books to read on this one. I don't own the last book yet though. And book number 9, there's 10 books in this series. Book number 9 is on my April TBR, so I will get there. Still a few there. I've started this series at least. And I'm starting this series this month. And I started this series last year, and book number 2 is on my April TBR. So I mean, we're focusing on it. We're getting there. At least I've read some from it. So those were all my goals. So overall, I'm doing fairly well, which is kind of normal. I think at the beginning of the year, your goals are, you're focusing on them, right? It's kind of as you get throughout the year, that's when they start slipping off. So hopefully I can keep up with what I'm on. Okay, so now just some random questions that aren't really that don't relate to my goals, but do talk about kind of how my reading is going so far this year. The first question, what is your most read genre so far? Okay, so my first thought, without even looking at my spreadsheet, was going to be historical fiction, because I think I've read a lot of historical this year. Then I looked at my spreadsheet to see what it really was. And romantic suspense is the one that has the biggest chunk, biggest percentage on my pie graph. And that is 7 books out of the 32 books that I've read. However, historical romance has 6, and historical fiction has 2. So if I add the 2 genre, historical romance and historical fiction together, that is 8 books. And romantic suspense is only 7 books. And I mean, there's not I don't know. I feel like historical romance and historical fiction probably should be grouped together when I talk genre. I don't know. So yeah, those are my 2. Anyways, historical and romantic suspense are like neck and neck. Okay, number 3. Wait, that's only question number 2, right? Have you already found a book you think will be a favorite of the year? I have 4. Where are they? Right here. And 2 authors. So, yours truly, Thomas, and The Hope of Azure Springs by Rachel Fordham, and Fairest of Heart and If the Boot Fits by Karen Whitmire. And they're all historical fiction. Technically historical romance. Yeah. I'm really into the historical right at this moment in time. Okay, question number 3. Your least favorite of the year. That's really easy. 1984 by George Orwell. Yep, I've read it. Have no desire to read it again. Don't know if it's going to stay on my shelves or not, because I do like my edition of it, but yeah, we'll see. And I just read that in March, so I talked about it in my March wrap-up. Okay, question number 4 is a book that has already been released this year that you want to read but haven't yet. And the first book I thought of was Never Fall Again by Lynn H. Blackburn. This came out in March. It is book 1 of her new series. I want to say Grosvenor Falls, but I could be incorrect on that. And I so want to read that. But knowing that it's book 1 of a series, and knowing that I have a whole series of hers that I have not read yet, I was like, nope, I'm going to wait, but I really want to read it. And every time I see it up, like through Instagram or on Facebook or somebody talking about it, I want to read that one. But I know as soon, like with it being a series, I'm going to want book 2 right away, and it's not available yet. So yeah, that is my most anticipated that's already out. Okay, then the next question is their most anticipated book that is coming out later this year. So I have 2. Could I really narrow it down to 1? I mean, I could do a whole list, but 2. So the first one is Target Acquired by Lynette Eason. This is book number 2 of her Lake City Heroes series. And book number 1 came out in January. I have read that one, really, really enjoyed it. But I really, really enjoy Lynette Eason's writing. And so I cannot wait for book number 2. I have no idea what it's about because I want to go into it blind. Then the second book is Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. Both these books come out mid-August. And so I don't know which book I want to read as my advanced reader copy, which one I want to request, because I really want to read both of them because they're 2 favorite authors, but they're 2 very different genres. One is a romantic suspense, one will be a historical. And again, I don't know really what Rachel's book is about. I just really, really have enjoyed the ones I've read by her and want to read it. Okay, and the last question is a new to you booktuber that you recommend. And immediately I thought of Alma from Alma's Book Journey. She has only been posting the last 3 months, and each time she posts, I look forward to the videos. I feel like I relate to her, and we have very similar opinions about things, and just she's very genuine when she comes across and talking about, and yeah, she is the one that I would recommend you checking out. So I will link her channel below and you can just go right to it and see some of her videos. So that is the first quarter reading check-in. How I'm doing for January, February, and March. How has your reading gone for the beginning of the year, the first 3 months? I'd love to chat in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.